Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. Tonight, I am continuing to read Animorphs number 10, The Android by K.A. Applegate. And as always, this video is not intended for kids. This is instead intended for adults who are discovering or rediscovering the wonders that are Animorphs. And I was going to get this done sooner, but then I ended up watching Joker, which was a really good movie actually. And the Hunger Games prequel, I forget the title off the top of my head, but Amazon alerted me that it has arrived in my Kindle. And while I do have problems with the company of Amazon, I usually just do ebooks so I can support indie authors and, not, those warehouses. Plus, don't want to have people risk their lives on a daily basis just to get me more books. So that's how I do it. So, speaking of Kindles, I'm going to read the Kindle edition of Animorphs number 10. Woohoo! Love y'all. Okay. We need to talk to Axe, I said to Tobias. Definitely. That was not human. That was seriously not human. So you did see it, right? I'm not crazy? Yes, you're crazy, but I did see it, Tobias said. Very weird. Below us, Eric climbed up off the sidewalk, dusted himself off like nothing had happened, and resumed walking toward home. Hang a right, Tobias said. We'll get some good updrafts off the road. Whatever your friend Eric is, I don't think he's from around here. We flew hard and fast toward home. Tobias split off to round up Axe. I demorphed and headed home to check in with my dad and let him know I still existed. Then I called Jake. I got Tom instead. Hey, Tom, is Jake around there? I don't know. Jake! He yelled. He said he's coming. Cool. Haven't seen you around here much, Tom said. Keeping busy? I felt a little chill. It's weird talking to controllers when you know that's what they are. It was Tom's voice, and it acted like Tom, but it wasn't Tom. Tom was cowering helplessly in a corner of his own mind. I was talking to a Yerk. Yeah, I guess so, I said. Uh-huh. We're going up to the lake, do some water skiing. You and Jake? Yeah, right. No, me and the sharing. You know Jake's too much of a social misfit to join, Tom said, with a totally human big brother laugh of derision. It's just that we have too many girls going and not enough guys. A lie, of course. A lie that was supposed to entice me. Why was Tom suddenly trying to get me interested in the sharing again? He quickly gave me the answer. So, I heard your dad was back at work. That's cool. Yeah, I guess so, I said. My father had gone through a bad time after my mom died. Now he was back at work. He's an engineer. But he's heavily involved in computers too. He had been working with the new observatory on ways to design software that would aim the telescopes better. He was also working on some projects he couldn't even talk about. Projects I figured must involve the military. You could bring your dad, Tom said as casually as he could. I mean, not like anyone wants their fathers along, usually, right? But, I mean, maybe he's ready to get back out there in the world and all. The sharing is a good place to make business connections, you know? Yeah, I'll ask him. I said, do that, okay? Your dad could probably use some downtime to relax, take it easy, meet some people. So, they were after my father now. I felt something burning inside me, like I'd taken a gulp of lava. I wanted to reach right through the phone and take a baseball bat to the evil creature in Tom's head. Here's Jake, Tom said. There was a scuffling sound as he handed the phone off. Then Jake's voice. Hey, Marco. What's up? I went off. What's up? What's up? Those scumbags are after my father. That's what's up. How do you live with that? How do you look at that piece of crap every day? He's all like, bring your dad to the sharing. Do a father-son bonding thing. And oh, by the way, would you mind if we stuck a... Shut up, Jake hissed. I shut up, but my hand was squeezing the receiver so hard I could have snapped it. Jake let me calm down for a minute. He made noises in the phone, like he was listening to me talking. He made a couple of laughing sounds. I guess Tom wasn't far away from the phone. I knew Jake was right. We don't talk secrets over the phone. There's no way of knowing who might be listening in. Okay, I'm cool, I said. I wasn't cool, but I was under control again. That sounds good to me, Jake said, still pretending to have a conversation. We have to get together, I said. It's a nice day out. That was a signal that we should meet in the woods. Okay, later, Jake said casually. He hung up. I took a couple of deep breaths. Then I took a couple more. The Yerks had taken my mother. They weren't getting my father. Before that happened, I'd tell him everything. Before I let that happen, I'd take Tom down, no matter what Jake said. I'd take Tom, I'd take Chapman, I'd take every controller I knew of before I'd let them have my father. I had power. Deadly animals lived inside me. Their DNA Their DNA swam with my own. I could feel the rage flowing through me. The blind, violent rage that became little films in my head. Little head movies of revenge and destruction. I pictured the things I would do to Tom. Chapman, someday even the Fisher 3, I would do terrible things to them. Terrible, violent things. It was a sick feeling. It was sick, and I knew it, and yet I ran those images over and over in my head. Rage is addictive, you know. I guess it's sort of like a drug. Anger and hatred get you high. They get you high, but like any addiction, they hollow you out and tear you down and eat you alive. I guess I knew all that, but all I could think of was that they were not getting my father. So I ran the scenes of violence over and over in my head. I rode that rush of fury till at last it burned itself out and left me feeling empty and beaten. And that's the end of that happy-go-lucky chapter, and it seems like to spit on the Kindle. I actually have 2 Kindles. I use this old one where the battery's messing up, and then I have the newer Kindle. Still paperwhite, but the reason I don't use the new Kindle is because this Kindle has like a little border here, which, might not think is that important, but the new Kindle is much more smooth, where, the distinction between the screen and the border isn't as great. Which you think might not mean much, but does mean like every now and again I will accidentally press it just enough so the Kindle goes, oh, you want to skip to the next page? And it's like, no, I actually don't want that at all. And I think that did happen like once or twice when I was filming, so I'm like, okay, I have to move back to the older version. So yeah. Yay. Information that probably most of you don't care about, so let's talk about the stuff you do care about and you are watching this video for. Let's see. Yeah, this was an intense chapter. Like, Marco is finding out Eric, this guy he sort of knew back in the day, might not be human. Like, at first he's like, oh no, is he controller? Now it's like, oh, he's not human. I don't know what the hell is happening to my world. Then you have him talking to Tom, and I think talking to really any controller reminds him what his mom's going through. It's like, my mom's a controller, and so that's how I sort of read this scene. And then it's like, oh no, my mom's a controller, and now they want to make my dad a controller. So it's like, oh no, it's... Then he's like, he got so stressed and he lost his shit. He's like, he was trying to say secret stuff on the phone. So, Marco just needs a hug, and it's hug. You're having all these problems thrown in your face. You have to deal with figuring out what your friend is and figuring out all the emotions you have towards Eric. And then you have, protecting your father. That's like... So it's like, I totally understand why you snapped on the phone. It's like, I don't care. But yeah. He needs a hug. That's really all I can think of saying about this chapter. Like, don't you think that Marco needs a hug? And actually, that's going to be the question for today's video. Don't you think Marco needs a hug? And a part 2 to the question. No, actually, I think that's just one question. Does he need a hug? Oh yeah, the second question. Would you give that hug to him? Like, just hug Marco. Okay, hang on. Pretend this penguin's Marco. Just hug Marco. Hug Marco. Hug. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I found a use for that penguin here. Besides being a nice companion for the day. Hey. Yep. Stay with the video. And as always, comment below with anything you notice about this chapter, but please remember, no major spoilers. I am hoping against hope that people will discover, the series of Animorphs through these videos. And so there are some major twists and turns coming throughout the series that, new time readers should not be warned of. Okay, let's see. And as always, please like this video to give Marco a hug. And also remember to subscribe because I am going to be reading the entire Animorphs series. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. Yes, the first 10 books are out on audio, but I like to think I have like a charming personality, so you don't want to miss how I terribly murder these books through my dramatic reading. So yeah. And yeah, I'd be liking, commenting, subscribing. And if you're watching this on my bloggity blog and watching on the desktop version of my bloggity blog, please remember that I do have an option there where you can follow by email and you don't want to miss out anything I do on my blog. And May 23rd, there's going to be my next long post, which is Game of Thrones related that you won't want to miss out on. So, follow by email so you don't. And until next video, goodbye. Yay, end stream. Yay!